Did you know that over 70% of readers stop engaging with a book if the main character is too perfect? That's right, characters who seem too smart, too flawless, or too all-knowing actually turn people off. Sounds crazy, right? But it's true. Smart characters can sometimes break the story if they don't have flaws, struggles, or vulnerabilities to keep them grounded. In this video, we'll dive deep into why smart characters can be a writer's worst enemy, and how you can fix that. We'll show you how giving your character limitations, emotional depth, and unpredictability can make them much more interesting. We'll reveal why even the smartest characters need to fail sometimes and how to use their flaws to drive the story forward. Stick around as we break down the 6 secrets every writer needs to know to avoid making their smart characters a total disaster. Chapter 1, The Genius Paradox, Why Overpowering Intelligence Can Sabotage Your Story. A smart character sounds like a good idea at first, right? But there's a catch. When a character's intelligence exceeds the limits of the plot, they can start to feel like a cheat. Take Sherlock Holmes, for example. While he's undeniably brilliant, his genius often removes the challenge. The problem? Smart characters who don't struggle make the story predictable. Without obstacles, there's no growth. Here's the key: your audience needs to feel the stakes. If your genius character solves every problem with ease, why would the reader care about the outcome? Smart characters are most engaging when they face dilemmas that push them out of their comfort zone. They need moments where their intelligence doesn't provide the answers. Even Einstein, one of the greatest minds in history, knew the importance of humility. He once said, "The more I learn, the more I realize how much I don't know." It's a reminder that no one is truly infallible. This is where you should take your characters. Give them flaws and limitations, even if they're incredibly smart. Every genius has blind spots. Creating tension is essential. Allow your character to outsmart their enemies sometimes, but also throw them into situations where their intellect doesn't guarantee success. Let them make mistakes. Let them fail. Remember, growth often comes from failure. A character who succeeds effortlessly can make the plot feel like it's on autopilot. But a character who struggles, even with great intelligence, keeps readers engaged. This balance is a powerful storytelling tool. So, instead of creating an infallible genius, create a character who learns, adapts, and evolves. Chapter 2, The IQ versus EQ Dilemma. Emotional intelligence is more compelling than pure logic in the battle between IQ, intelligence quotient, and EQ, emotional quotient. EQ often wins. Sure, IQ matters, but emotional intelligence is what makes characters truly compelling. Think of your favorite characters. What makes them stand out? It's not just their smarts, it's their ability to connect with others. Psychologist Daniel Goleman, who popularized the concept of emotional intelligence, argues that emotional intelligence is a greater predictor of success than IQ. This is a game changer for writers. If your smart character doesn't understand the emotions of others, their intelligence won't make them relatable. People crave connection, and readers do too. Imagine a brilliant scientist who can calculate the odds of survival but fails to comfort a friend in distress. It's the lack of emotional intelligence that makes them feel one-dimensional. Your character needs to understand and respond to emotions, both their own and others. This brings depth. Look at Jon Snow from Game of Thrones. He's no genius, but his EQ is off the charts. His empathy for others, especially his enemies, makes him a memorable character. Smart, but emotionally intelligent characters connect with audiences on a deeper level. The key to balancing IQ and EQ is showing how the character's intelligence can help solve problems, but their emotional insight helps them connect, influence, and lead. This creates a multi-dimensional character who appeals to the audience's intellect and heart. Studies show that characters with strong emotional intelligence are more likely to resonate with audiences. A survey by the Psychology of Storytelling found that 75% of people remember a story more vividly if it features an emotionally intelligent lead. People don't just want a character to be smart, they want him to feel real. And part of being real is being emotionally aware. Chapter 3, Tacticians versus Strategists, How Too Much Planning Kills Excitement. A smart character often thrives on their ability to strategize. But here's the thing, Too much planning can drain the excitement from your story. When a character is too tactical, they might predict every move. And when you can predict the outcome, why stay engaged? Look at movies like The Dark Knight. Batman's plan is carefully constructed, but there's always something unexpected that throws him off course. The Joker's chaos is what keeps the tension alive. Without that element of surprise, the plot could feel mechanical. Here's the trick: give your characters a plan, but let the world disrupt it. The most interesting stories aren't the ones where everything goes according to plan. They're the ones where the character faces unforeseen challenges. In fact, research by Harvard Business Review showed that people are more likely to remember and enjoy stories that include an unexpected twist. Strategists like Batman or James Bond are fascinating because their plans are often flawed or challenged by something unpredictable. Smart characters become more interesting when their plans fail or lead them into difficult situations. The story isn't just about the solution, it's about how they deal with the unexpected. The key here is to craft challenges that even the smartest characters can't predict. In real life, plans rarely go exactly as expected, and that's where the drama lies. Your story needs to feel like a journey of discovery, not a roadmap. So, as a writer, don't let your characters outsmart the plot. Give them challenges they can't solve with logic alone. Allow chaos and conflict to bring out their true nature. This not only adds excitement but makes the journey more rewarding. If you're finding these tips helpful, make sure to hit subscribe. We've got even more writing secrets coming your way. Chapter 4: The Illusion of Omnipotence. Why characters need limits to stay relatable. Smart characters can easily fall into the trap of being portrayed as too perfect, which leads to them feeling more like machines than people. When a character has no limits, it becomes hard for readers to relate. Think about it, everyone has flaws. Even the most brilliant minds have weaknesses, and your characters should reflect that. Take Tony Stark from Iron Man. Sure, he's a genius, but his flaws, his arrogance, impulsiveness, and struggles with addiction, are what make him relatable. Without these vulnerabilities, Stark would simply be a smart guy in a suit, and we wouldn't care about his journey. It's his weaknesses that give him depth and make him human. In psychology, the halo effect shows that we tend to assume someone with one positive trait, like intelligence, also has other positive traits. But when you make a character too perfect, this effect wears off. The audience starts to see them as less human and more as a tool for the plot. So, how do you give your smart characters limits? Simple: make them face situations where their intelligence can't save them. This could be an emotional challenge or a moral dilemma that forces them to confront their flaws. By doing this, you allow them to grow and evolve, keeping readers engaged. A study by the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that characters who show vulnerability are more likely to be perceived as likable. No one wants to read about a perfect genius. They want to see that genius struggle, learn, and grow. Even in the most intellectual characters, there's room for humility and failure. Ultimately, a character with limits feels more real. Readers can see themselves in the struggles of someone who isn't perfect, no matter how brilliant they are. So, remember, flaws and challenges are what keep characters grounded and relatable. Chapter 5: When Smart Isn't Enough. How weaknesses enhance a character's journey. One of the most effective ways to deepen your smart character's journey is by focusing on their weaknesses. A character's intelligence can only carry them so far. It's their weaknesses that will force them to adapt and grow. This is where the real drama happens. In The Hunger Games, Katniss Everdeen is resourceful and smart, but her true strength lies in her emotional weaknesses. She isn't the best strategist, but her vulnerability allows her to form connections with others and make decisions based on empathy. It's her emotional journey that carries the story forward, not just her physical or intellectual abilities. According to Psychology Today, people are drawn to characters with visible flaws because it makes them more human. Imperfections create relatability, and when readers connect with a character on an emotional level, they become more invested in their journey. Your smart character doesn't need to be perfect. In fact, their flaws should be integral to the plot. Maybe they lack social skills, struggle with self-doubt, or can't handle failure well. These weaknesses create opportunities for growth. They force the character to face challenges that their intelligence alone can't solve, leading to meaningful development. A great example is Dr. Gregory House from the TV show House. He's a brilliant diagnostician, but his personal flaws, his arrogance, addiction, and inability to connect with others, make him a compelling character. His intelligence might be his strongest asset, but it's his weaknesses that create the real tension in the show. In storytelling, vulnerability is not a weakness, it's a strength. It's the key to making a character's journey feel authentic. So, when writing smart characters, don't shy away from their flaws. Use them as a tool to deepen their story. Chapter 6, The Socratic Method, How to Create Conversations That Challenge and Change Smart Characters. A smart character's journey is not just about solving problems or beating obstacles, it's also about how they interact with others. The Socratic method, a form of cooperative argumentative dialogue, is a powerful tool for making smart characters evolve through conversation. It forces them to question their beliefs and grow. Socrates himself believed in the power of dialogue to test ideas and push individuals toward truth. This method can be a great way to write challenging, thought-provoking conversations for your characters. When a character is forced to confront their assumptions, it creates a moment of transformation. Let's take a look at the Harry Potter series. Dumbledore often uses conversations with Harry to make him question his views. He doesn't just give Harry answers, he asks questions that force him to reflect. These conversations challenge Harry's perception of good and evil, teaching him about sacrifice and morality. Using this technique allows your smart character to evolve without explicitly stating that they've changed. The conversation itself, often sparked by an outside character, can be what moves the character from one point to another. It's more subtle but highly effective. Research shows that active listening and constructive questioning are essential for personal growth. According to a study by the University of California, individuals who engage in meaningful discussions tend to develop stronger critical thinking and problem-solving skills. The same applies to your characters. Challenging conversations push them to develop and grow. Smart characters often rely on their intelligence to get ahead, but it's their ability to learn from others that will push their journey forward. By writing dialogue that challenges their views, you give them the opportunity to question their assumptions and grow beyond their brilliance. Another example is Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson. While Holmes is the genius, Watson's more grounded, emotional perspective often forces Holmes to reconsider his conclusions. Their dialogue serves as a subtle method of character development, showing that intelligence alone doesn't have all the answers. Creating these Socratic-style conversations can be a fun way to write more dynamic characters. Instead of just having your character talk, make them listen. Let others question their assumptions and challenge their intellect. This will force them to grow and, ultimately, make the story more engaging. If you enjoyed these tips and want to improve your storytelling even more, don't forget to subscribe for more insights and writing secrets.